That's it.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and if you would, please rise. Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Point, I'll open the meeting. Do we have any visitors who wish to speak? Nobody at this point. Okay, we'll move right into the business. March 19th, regular board meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I make the motion.
All second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Reports by elected officials and department heads. Town clerk. Mr. Willis?
All right, our office will be remitting $43,259.53. Rounded amounts, of course, the majority was for the summer youth program, $35,950. We had $4,082 in recycling sales. That's between the office and the recycling center. $1,250 in rental fees collected. We had 7 community center reservations and 2 pavilion reservations. We had $333 in dog licenses, so 11 new residents and 39 renewed. $643 in miscellaneous fees. That was $390 for vital statistics, $143 in DEC license fees. That was our cut of $2,600 in sales. And we had that 1 dog impoundment fee and fine, which is kind of a wash. The passes for the beach have been in for a while and are in high demand. Every other person in the door. Camp registration is right now at 137. We had to cut it off. It's potentially cut at 142. We're just waiting for a couple people who were on the wait list to get their payment in. So potentially it's 142. A few counselors that hadn't made a decision to work decided to
Excellent.
and got on board. So we managed to bring that up a little
We
bit.
were at 125 and
Yeah.
some people weren't happy.
So that's better. We managed to get most of the people on the wait list in.
Good.
Fishing licenses, we seem to be the only place around that sells them.
Fun licenses?
People go to Walmart and they don't know what they're doing down there. And all the other places like Dick's and all the sporting goods stores, they stopped selling them. So fishing licenses have been going crazy. So I imagine hunting license season is going to be pretty bizarre. But that's it.
They pick on you about having it on your sign out there, but I guess they're gonna leave you.
No, people have been coming in, I didn't know you sold them until I saw that sign.
Been on there for a year.
Well, we've been selling them since,
I know.
I don't know when, when you still had to write your name across the pictures. Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve Bill's report. Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Mr. Bailey, Highway Department. You're up, Michael. Yeah, we're rolling.
Highway report for June. We had patching, we had 13 days of it, with 5 men. Brush pickup, we had 10 days of that with 5 men. At the same time that they're picking up brush, there's a couple of trucks running around picking up bags. There was 7 days of that with 2 men. And then,
The brush stuff, you can never catch up. Every day.
I think we made it. I think we finally got the end. Kevin,
People are just keeping putting stuff out.
It's doesn't seem to be as heavy now. I think they finally got it all out. There's no trees left. We're living in the desert. And during the course of winter, we had half a dozen water main breaks. So we went out patching them. Kevin included that. He had 4 men for 4 days patching all the water main breaks in the holes and roads and culverts. Took care of that. Had a day of running around putting banners up. And, we were out great all ditching, had 3 men for 3 days. That's, we did Downey Street up for the Calhoun's development, Fox Hollow, and Ridge Road. It goes nice, it doesn't have that line, guys, did that done. Then the unsung hero for this is the mowing of all the ball fields. Rodney Rogers, he runs around got 11 days this month, mowing ball fields, cemeteries, every little place needs them up. He just goes and does it, never talks about it, just takes his mower, he's like Forrest Gump out there. Does a great job.
That dry weather took care of that, slowed it up a little bit.
Well, it's slow growing down, but he keeps right at it. And John Spiak, he did 11 days of mowing roadsides,
Nice.
the dam, all the land, the big land for the town, that the town owns, parkland. 4 men went down, they fixed the pavilion where a couple branches hit it at the beach, cleaned up all the brush, all crew went down for a day, down there cleaning up the branches and brush, moving on picnic tables out, returning them at the beach ready for the summer program. So we had 3 days of work doing that. One day we took in all the millings that we manufactured over in Mountain Way, Mountain View. We brought them all back home here, brought them over to Keys Lanes, made a parking lot for the concerts over there. So we had a day at home, no one's around, made the parking lot over there. Recycle, we had 1 man for 3 days out of the crew on the recyclables because one of the guys that always does that has been really sick, so we've been making adjustments to the schedule there. We had 1 day with 11 men doing, the trucks over in Mountain View. And we milled a couple of roads trying to keep the profiles ready. So we had 11 trucks home 1 day. Mr. Del Sigma was paid, and we had to provide flaggers for him. We had 4 guys, or 2 guys over there for 4 days doing that. And then that truck is back working. So we went through Mountain View before it was paid, and Kevin pumped all the catch basins out, checked all the pipes, and checked all the catch basins, said we saw curves before it paid. It's a little smarter to do it first and after.
Yep.
The last big thing we did was we paved about 10 roads over the Mountain View area with the Chelsea and come out beautiful. There's a couple of issues here and there. I've got to get more on top of them and get them cleaned up. But for the most part, it looks good, kind of good.
Excellent.
That's my day.
Busy. Motion approved, Mr. Bailey's report.
I'll make it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Bradley, Water Department. Billy, look a little tired. Take a break tomorrow.
Back in the shade.
It's interesting May, I guess, between vacation and having to deal with family issues across the country, but we got things under control, I think. The guys here, my men assisted the highway department, as Mike was saying, with the paving projects over in Mountain View, setting the new valve box risers and manhole rings, and my understanding is all came out great.
The guys did a great job. They stayed very well in setting and setting coverage.
We had several call-outs for sewer issues along North Lake Avenue. I've not camera inspected this main, but it seems like there's an increase in problems over there, so I'm going to arrange to camera inspect this to see if there's, areas that need to be repaired or patched. Here's the root protrusion and like wipes and stuff. There's good roots in there, and people using wipes, they get on the roots and chemical runs up and everything else. So the back truck was fixed just in time to address some of those issues. I'm doing this 2 fingers instead of 1, and let the record know.
Yeah.
Try to pull a manhole in midnight, didn't work out so well for me. We've been locating, the guys been going out, locating curb boxes and everything in the areas where we have a higher probability of wet surfaces. Preparing that process to start documenting that, as I said in the previous meeting. We have to make a good faith effort to have that all done by October 2024. You're already on top of this. I saw an email today about there's potentially some $75 million in funding for the dam rehabilitation and safety programs, as well as some underwater quality programs. So, I understand we're engaged in village engineering already. I sent a note out this afternoon, they said Phil's on it, so.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Hopefully we get some money for that.
I've been hesitating spending $2 million on that dam for a while, so
So let's hope it,
let's hope we get some money somewhere.
We're preparing for the next round. It's already time to read water meters again. You know, we just finished collections in April and now we're ready to start out there again for the August bill to go out. Excuse me, yes, it's August.
How long does it take them now?
Well, we're down to last time around, a little over 2 weeks, you know, from the work. I think it'll go a lot faster because we've eliminated a lot of confusing accounts that we're like, okay, did we check this, did we not check this? Yeah, double check this. A lot of the abandoned accounts were left in the system. You know, let's say building was torn down or whatever. You know, and vacant buildings, so we'll clean that up. Because what I've gone to is what I call off a curb, and so that doesn't show up in the reading route, so we don't have to worry about, you know, another 100 accounts there like that. We're going to plan on doing hydrant flushing starting August 31st to, excuse me, July 31st to August 8th. So we're getting that prepared. That's all I have.
Bill, is that October 2024 deadline, is that for, to have the inventory done or to have the work done?
No, the inventory. Not the, that's a lot bigger. One thing just to that point and what kind of things that you're up against. North Lake Avenue happens to be one of the areas of water services, and we know there's a lead service there and it had a high result in our testing. So when we replace that line, there's an 8-inch gas main that goes right down next to the water main. There's really not enough room to backhoe in there without closing down the whole road. So I'm bringing a hydro excavator to hydro excavate that. So we'll kind of do a time study with this one to see how long, because it may be prudent as we go along and find these, is to put them together as a project and contract. All right,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill. Entertain a motion for Mr. Bradley's report.
I'll make it.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Mr. Golden, Superintendent of Utilities Inspection.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is the report from the building department for May of 2023. We had 50 building and property inspections, 341 active building permits, 42 permits issued or renewed, 11 meetings, 2 planning board meetings, 1 zoning board meeting, 0 court cases, 0 fire inspections, 7 follow-up complaints and follow-up code call-outs, 3 code call-outs with their inspections, 15 code complaints, 10 code complaint inspections, 0 vacant abandoned properties identified, 7 planning board projects, 5 zoning board projects, 8 FOIL requests. Being in that, it's the midpoint of the year by date, not by our meetings, because we're talking about May. I just looked at where we were for residential single-family homes with garages. And that last year in 2022, we had 5 with a valuation of $1,630,000. And this year, we have 4. And there's a really nice home going up on Liberty. The evaluation of those 4 is $2,463,000. So we're about there. With it didn't seem like the increasing interest rates are affected residential building.
How about for pools? Pool activity?
Not as much as years past. I think the big hump was after the pandemic when people were home. And there were a lot of pools, quite a few. I'll give you that number next meeting.
Entertain a motion for Mr. Golden's report.
I'll make it. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Shaw, town attorney.
Yeah, this past month I attended and participated in meetings with staff and outside counsel on various matters at town office or by conference call, a remote meeting on May 15, May 17, May 19, May 22, May 23, May 30, June 2nd, and June 5th. I prepared the resolution which is on the agenda for this meeting. I've been working with outside counsel on a pending litigation matter. Been working with a law firm engaged by our insurance carrier to represent the town with respect to some recently commenced litigation. I worked with various departments on responding to a comprehensive freedom of information law request. I've been working with the building department regarding some outstanding enforcement matters. Been working with town officials regarding amendment of the water transportation agreement between the towns whereby Brunswick transports water purchased from the city of Troy to the town of Poston Hill. Been working on a report required by our auditors to complete our 2022 audit. Continuing to work with counsel for the town's insurance carrier in connection with representation of the town with regard to some recently commenced litigation. And as always, I perform legal research, provide legal opinions, and review or prepare legal documents as requested by town officials and employees.
Thank you. Any questions for Tom? I'll make a motion to approve the report. Can I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Town story. Tracy?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Tracy.
So I thought the town beach would be a good subject for tonight, seeing as though that the summer program is going to be starting in a few weeks. Did a little research and I was curious of how the park came to be, so I'm going to tell you about it. So the city of Troy was no longer using the reservoirs on North Lake Avenue for water supply, and they were going to abandon them because they were going to start getting the water from the Tom Hannock Reservoir. Therefore, the city decided to sell the land, and they were asking $253,000. So in August of 1963, the town of Brunswick applied for a state grant to help with the purchase of the Vanderheiden and Brunswick reservoirs from the city of Troy to be used for a new town park. It was said that the grant would help pay for the land and also help the cost of developing the land to get it ready for the residents to enjoy. The Brunswick Reservoir, the larger of the two bodies of water on North Lake Avenue, consists of 36 acres. It was constructed in 1840. The Vanderheiden Reservoir, which is right next to it, consists of 16 acres, and that was constructed in 1868. The two bodies of waters were separated by an earth dam. It took the town a few years to get the park ready for the residents to use as a beach. Under the direction of the Highway Superintendent Frank Bentley, the Highway Department constructed a road on the causeway to gain easy access to the beach. Then they made a parking lot that could accommodate 50 vehicles, built a picnic area with bathroom facilities, and they also constructed a 400-foot beach, including sand, and installed a 34-foot dock. The beach was able to accommodate 200 people. By June of '68, the new park was open and it was able to be enjoyed by the town of Brunswick residents. Before the park was open, the town's summer program was held at two locations, Tamarack School and George Washington School. The program then was for 8 weeks with the option for swim lessons. There were various activities for the kids. Some of the more interesting activities were trampoline, gymnastics, archery, along with ping pong, badminton, and horseshoes. And if the children wanted to go swimming, they went to Lake Lorraine. Now, before today, I've never heard of Lake Lorraine.
Giuseppe's.
So, yes, yeah, so yeah, right past upstate auto, right before Torreon. So I got a history lesson
There
today.
you go.
So, that's it, John.
That's very interesting.
I thought so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, entertain a motion for Tracy's report.
Offer.
Want a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Con, you're up, buddy. Recycling coordinator. Mr. Amster?
Good evening. Recycling report for May. Blue bags purchased at the center. We had 466 at $3 for $1,398. Blue bags purchased from vendors, 800 for $2,040. Purple bags purchased at the center, 151 at $2 for $302. Our metal light iron, 3.87 tons at $120 a gross ton for $414. Our baled OCC, 8.21 tons at 0.01 penny a pound for $164. Mixed paper, 2.21 tons at no charge. Electronics recycled, 2.18 tons at no charge. Miscellaneous, large and small appliances, we had 7, TVs 5, tires 4, ACs 5, for $232 and gave us revenues of $4,551. General expenses, refuse landfill, 15.64 tons at $85 a ton for $1,329. Single stream recycling, 8.61 tons at $50 a ton for $430, which gave it expenses of $1,759. The total amount recycled in the landfill for the month of May was 41.28 tons. And we're having our hazmat day in September of this year. So if anyone's interested, they have to call in and sign up.
Excellent. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, you guys know the motion there. Is there a motion for Tom's report?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Brunswick Community Library, Sarah? Hi, Sarah.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm here tonight with my board member, Jen Schatz. And for the month of May, we had 2,561 visitors. We answered 349 reference questions. Our Wi-Fi was used by 175 unique users with an average of 22 people per day tapping in. We assisted 150 people with technology use. Our study spaces were used 182 times. For checkouts, our items were checked out 7,098 times. Our programs were attended 618 times. It technically wasn't in May, it was in June. But this past weekend, we had our library Scarlet Day. We made almost $2,000 for the library.
Excellent.
And we'd like to thank a few people. We had plant donations from Blacking Earth and Anglekey Farms. And we also had a wonderful truck of mulch from Harrington Farms, which really helped us raise a lot of money. So thank you so much. That was very helpful for us. Coming up
Guys
soon.
hand bagged 60 or 80 bags.
80 bags of mulch, yeah.
Wow.
So thank you so much. That was a big deal for us. We made a lot of money for the library with that. Coming up in July, we will be starting summer reading, so keep an eye out for that after school gets out. July 8th, we are having the Society of Creative Anachronism back for Medieval Day. It's basically a small Renaissance fair. July 10th and 11th, we're having our children's clothing swap. And July 22nd, we are having our Civil War Day. That is everything I have for you. Thank you so much.
Another busy one. Entertain a motion for Sarah's report?
I'll make it.
Can I have a second?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution, Mr. Lewis?
Yes, sir. Actually, we only have one. Resolution number 29, 2023. Resolution appointing and fixing compensation of Justice Court Clerk.
Offer. I'll second it.
Foregoing resolution was offered by Councilman Christian, seconded by Supervisor Harrington. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Ballasteri absent. Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
Foregoing resolution is adopted.
We had a young lady that moved to the state, so created a position. And when I visited with this young lady, she said part of the selling point to her was the fact that she talked to the Schaghticoke Court and a few other people, when they mentioned what a great team that we have here, and everybody gets along so well in the office. So it's a nice selling point. So, thank you. Be nice to her. But I'm saying she's very happy.
Jeez,
That was supposed to be it.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's move on here.
I
I was told to stay to the script. All right, Bill, we got any correspondence?
No.
Board have any old business? New business? I did get a call today from Mohawk ambulance, they're quite happy. They reported to me that they had 2 calls at the same time, and they were able to respond in 2 ambulances, Brownsville Station, and they were on the scene, both calls within 6 minutes. So that's a great, great thing. We're very fortunate to have the garage here, and hopefully it continues, but that's nice. That's a good thing, so. All right, gentlemen, the warrant,
Make motion to approve our bills. I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
I can tell the story or something. We're all had. We're doing all right. Anybody at this point, any further comments? Any visitors? Come on up, sir.
Good evening, my name is Luis Torren, Atlas Renewals. My company is developing.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm going to need to stop you and get your name exactly, please.
Luis Torren, Atlas Renewals, the company. We're developing 2 solar projects. The development was interrupted by November, December last year when the solar moratorium started. In the last town board meeting that I attended, I asked Mr. Harrington if there was some movement. You told me that yes. I can see on April 13, 2023 that there is a resolution accepting Fort Albert Associates to move forward. Appreciate that the town is moving in that direction. Thank you very much. My comment and my request is that this is a work session open to the public, where the public can participate and say something, or this is something internal that Fort Albert would produce a report and will deliver the report to the town board. Is there any chance that we make contact with Fort Albert and handle all the studies that we did? I mean, our company produced more than 300 pages of documents requested by the zoning board. There is a lot of material. If the town board considers that it is interesting for this company, Fort Albert, to have a copy, more than happy to handle this copy. If the town board considers that it would be interesting to organize a work session and to open this work session to public for potential comments or for whatever, my request is that if that happens, please let me know. I will be very interested to participate and
We can do that.
to share my experience. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. No problem. Anybody else at this point? Jim?
Yeah, Jim Tachik, 387 Brunswick Road. Thank you very much, Bill, or whoever put the notice for the CDTC Hoosick Road study on the web, very prominently on the website. I've got a couple of questions and maybe some information additionally should be put on there. Is it, how long is the survey going? You have any idea?
It's the 7th. Thought I saw the 7th on the cover of it.
Can we get a handout on that, Tracy?
So how long?
Want to
I
grab
thought I
it?
saw July 7th on the, what I saw on social media anyway.
Oh, okay, and whatever was on, I think we can put it on the website. And also, when I talked to Mr. Bonesteel a couple of weeks ago, and I think Chuck had mentioned this, there could be some like pop-up.
They were looking
information.
to, speak with Walmart, Price Chopper, and I got him in touch with, gave him the contact information for that, to be able to get more information.
Good, I think we-
June and July 2023.
so the end of July? maybe?
Oh, did it say there was a pop-up at Price Chopper like this weekend?
Oh, okay. I'll get the information there.
You all want to go?
I've got them at my.
Got it?
We'll hand it, somebody's out for it tonight, so.
Maybe we could put this on the website.
Yeah,
It is on the
It
it
website.
is on the website.
Yeah, it was
When
put
did it
on
go up?
Yesterday.
yesterday.
Oh, okay. Earlier in the week.
Yesterday.
Okay, all righty. And then, that is also good news to see we're going to try to get a grant to fix the dam, repair the dam.
Hopefully.
Okay, and that,
Goes by points, of course. so.
right, okay, good. Because, and I hope that's sort of like, puts a death knell to the stand on your own 2 feet principle. because when you go for grants.
Jim, you just keep on banging on it, don't you?
You're
You know me, you knew my point.
Because you're just spending.
Keep talking, go.
Spending your own money. Okay, thank you very much.
The dam's never been on a grant before, and this is unusual for it to be there. So I got a call from LaBerge, our engineering, said it would cost us about $6,500 probably to apply. And they did some rough math. The fact that got a lot of work done already, we're basically almost shovel ready. We go out to bid to fix the dam. DEC has put a, what's the right term?
It's water quality improvement grant that's out for 72.
But they red flagged or whatever the term one.
Yeah.
They're saying we have to fix the dam.
Yes, we are under water issue repair.
So this is a DEC grant, so I'm hoping it ties in, but, some of it is to get more points. If there's a lot of people downstream that could get flooded out, that's more points. If there's lower income homes downstream, that's more points. There's some stuff that we're missing. Jim, I thought it was worth looking into. Anybody else at this point? Any other visitors? Come on up.
Everything's so happy and jolly, I almost don't want to.
No, I'm kind of disappointed somebody has come up with some negative thing.
Well,
I shouldn't have used the word negative.
you know, I'm Paul McEwen, Chesney Avenue, you know,
Yes,
I was
Paul.
here, I was here last meeting and
Yeah.
having lots of problems with the bikers. I'd make a bunch of copies. I want this submitted for the record if you
Okay.
have it already, but there's 7 copies of police reports there.
Okay.
And just to update you,
Oh,
the bikers wouldn't,
this is good.
yeah, the bikers wouldn't go away. I highlighted really the important parts of that, and I can briefly go over it.
This is New York State Police.
This is the New York State
Report.
Police, yeah. And,
Oop.
Officer Greg Young is really the guy who's mostly involved. This is actually it's showing 3 calls that we made. We actually made 3 calls prior to that. I don't know why they didn't make it. Maybe they only do the last 3, but this is the 4th, 5th, and 6th call we had to make for these kids who have now decided they're going to come over and deliberately harass us. Once they knew we called the police, they've now, have marked us and they're coming over.
Really?
Yeah, it's become harassment. But when I call the police and say, this is harassment, it's disturbing the peace, they say, well, welcome to New York State, there's no such law anymore. It's called noise. What are you talking about? They said, these kids are coming over and they're deliberately revving these bikes as loud as they can, jumping up and down that hill behind my house on McChesney Avenue, owned by BBD Development, I think it's called. Anyway, it's the area that's designated Forever Wild. So on the 3rd call, we got lucky. The 3rd, I'm here. Actually, it's the 6th call. But on May 15th, we called, and as the kids were coming up and down the hill, it was the time that they were ready to leave, and they were going to come out onto McChesney Avenue illegally. And doesn't the police officer connect right at the right time? They were in shock, and he just said, "Get over here." They get over there. He got their names, addresses, phone numbers, parents, and the truck that was delivering these kids from wherever to our part of the neighborhood, probably because they didn't want to listen to them. So let's get them far, far away. We happen to know that there were people up in the Highland area, the Highland apartments, that were also complaining. Whether they called the police, I don't know, but they certainly told us about it. After the police told them, and at the very bottom line, I have highlighted down here where, and you see the individual's name, by the way, he is 18 or 19, a graduate of Tamarack last year. I don't know why he's hanging out with
two young kids, but the other kids, from what I could find out, are about 15, and the other one doesn't look a day over 12, but he's probably 13 or 14. After him, he told these kids, "You're not to go back on this land or any other land in Brunswick unless you get permission." For the next 3 weeks, it was dead quiet, and we said, hallelujah. It finally sunk in that they're not going to get away with it, because now they know the New York State Police have their names and addresses and can contact their parents. Then came Sunday. I brought my iPad. I was going to turn this thing on and let you guys listen to what I have to listen to in my house and how loud it is with a window open. I won't bother you. I'm sure you've heard dirt bikes whose mufflers have been modified to be as loud as they possibly can. So I'm at the end of my rope. I don't know what else to do. I mean, I'm hoping from the last conversation I had here last month that I could have the town contact the owners and say, can you give us permission to put, private, no trespassing signs? The police told me that if I represented, let's say, designate me as a representative of the company, and I could put a sign up that said no trespassing, if those kids are out there, then the police can do something about it. As it is right now, they can't do anything. These kids, and the kids know it. So they just come back and laugh. In fact, there was one of my neighbors happened to be walking by Sunday and saw me, pulling my hair out, and said, "Want to go up and talk to him?" "Yeah, please, baby." So he walked up in the field where they were coming up and down, and they kind of stopped and looked at him, and he said, "Hey, come here." And they said, "Why should we?" He said, "I just want to talk to you." So they they waited till he got real close. They started to zoom away. They turned around, and of course, said, "F you," and off they went, laughing their heads off. So my wife and I can't stand this anymore. And, this is what causes vandalism, whatever you call it.
That's vigilante.
But, what do you do when the police can't help you? Nobody can do anything about it. We have their names, addresses, phone numbers, even the truck at the top of the page, on the back page, is highlighted. That brings them over. There's the license plate number. My God, I cannot believe that something can't be done with these kids. Because they're just punks. They're delinquents. And they're not going to stop. They are not going to stop. So I don't know what can be done. I know what can be done to my hill, and it's what I brought up last time I was here, and that would be some kind of a fence, a snow fence or something across the back. And as far as Niagara, Mohawk, or
I was gonna say, didn't you mention National Grid? Their land.
well, who actually owns the land? They may have, rights to get to certain things. I do see poles or something, in a couple of strategic locations there, but that was all when they were building the apartments. There hasn't been a National Grid truck or person up there since the trees fell down and they had to go and clear them out of the way. So I don't know what they would have to do. Even if the top, this is where the kids come in. They come in from the top. If they come in from the bottom, they'd have to be on McChesney Avenue, which means that they would be illegally in the road. It's the only other way in. But if the top was blocked off, Niagara Mohawk, or Niagara Mohawk, I'll never get National Grid.
If they came down the hill toward
Yes.
your house,
Yeah.
where would they go when they get to the bottom of the hill?
There's a place next door to my house where Bob Pep used to live. It's,
Yeah.
Debbie
So
Bowie.
they go from there on which,
Yes, they go right alongside her fence, right out onto the avenue,
and then they ride on the road.
and they right on the road.
And
I have videos of that. I'd be more than happy to show you that.
One would think that these are unregistered vehicles.
They are unregistered. They're dirt bikes.
They're not welcome on the
They
highways.
don't have licenses. I don't even think they have lights.
No,
And
they
these
don't.
kids start this at 8 o'clock at night. It's crazy. I've never in my life, in my 72 years, have I ever seen anything like this and getting away with it. But when the state police say to you, well, welcome to New York State, that's the law,
So,
it's frustrating.
so where they come out by Hep's house onto, that neighbor has rights there, and there must be a dirt path or somewhere where they're coming out onto McChesney Avenue, right?
It's an indentation, yeah, the grass there has
So,
grown.
so the homeowner doesn't have any way of shutting that off and to, eliminate their coming out onto McChesney Avenue?
She has, well, it's not her property.
Yeah.
Well, who's
It's on the other
property is
side
it?
of the fence.
That's the other, yeah, they're coming in on the
What
other
used to
side.
be Leonard's,
Well, are they coming out on Leonard's land?
through that, yeah, out into McChesney.
So Leonard's wife or widow owns the land, right?
No,
Don't know that
Who owns it? There's the apartments own it?
Next to his house?
BPP Development.
So that's part of the
And part of-
apartments that owns it.
Yes. Yeah, I always thought they were from, I kept saying from New Jersey. They have a Clifton Park office, 2 Circle Drive or something. Clifton Park.
Lost track of that, Chuck. It was Tansky and then
It is owned by a firm in New Jersey now. The property is the same as the Summit and the Ridge. Those 2 properties. The Summit's property wraps around the enclave.
So there's no way of contacting the owners of that property?
I was hoping that, I will, I was hoping the town would, because the town's gonna have a lot more clout. The little old Paul McEwen, because he had
yeah, right.
I mean, if I call as a resident, they're just gonna, yeah, okay, and hang up.
Chuck, we can figure out
We can
the
figure
phone
that out.
number and call and check.
Sure can. Yep.
Just have them send me or send you guys and hand it to me. Something that says, I hereby give you permission to, oversee the property and call the police on our behalf.
Oh,
Right, stop putting the signs up, no trespassing or whatever. Not that that's gonna stop these kids, these are the same 3 kids that knocked the signs down up on walking paths,
Right.
but at least it makes it legal.
And the state police took this license plate off of this Ford truck and did absolutely nothing with it? Didn't contact them or
I don't know,
say that they're making a,
he couldn't tell me how he did it or what he did. The only thing I know is that after he talked to the kids, they took their helmets off, I got a good look at them. And they told me that the only way I could get information was through the Freedom of Information Act, which is how I got these. But of course, they block out.
they're probably not gonna get that on a minor though, right?
Correct, that's why it's blocked out on their names.
Right.
But at least you got the one kid,
Now,
who is 18, 19 years old.
is this pickup truck, have you seen the pickup
Yeah,
truck?
it's a white Ford
It's
pickup.
white.
Yeah.
Because I saw a blue one underneath the towers on McChesney Avenue Extension, but on the south end of it the other day, and it did have a dirt bike in the back of it. Now, I don't know, there was only one individual with it, so I was kind of wondering whether it's more of the same.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose if they go there and they run on the power line right away and go toward the creek, that doesn't annoy you at all, if that's the.
But believe it or not, it's loud enough that I can still hear it way over on McChesney Avenue, but not to a point of
Well,
annoyance.
you're pushing the point now, I mean.
Yeah, not to a point of annoyance.
Right, exactly. And I mean, if they go from that direction and go all the way down through the creek and up over, then they can run that thing all the way over into North Greenbush, which is.
I wish they would.
Exactly.
And enjoy it. This hill, if you've seen pictures of this, if you've been over by there, there's that nice hump and they just love that.
I
They love coming down the hill.
know exactly where you
Yeah,
are.
flying up over that hump.
I was absolutely appalled to see how much damage they've done going up that hill. It's
Isn't there
absolutely,
isn't there something,
you could drive it side by side up that hill.
isn't there something, because it was declared, and I know that we talked about this briefly, but if it's been declared forever wild, haven't they destroyed the forever wild part of that? Isn't there some loophole or something, what part of that?
Gonna find out.
That's not our land, that's not forever wild there.
Can't figure out.
Well, part of the Walmart, part of that land has been set aside. I don't know the specific area he's talking about, but like Walmart and that, the Dunkin's, that there's portions of that that have been set aside.
Right.
Where the pond,
Where the pond is, yeah, that's kind of swampy away into there. I assumed it was all the way over to what we call Hedge Road, which separates.
You mean Leonard's
Leonard's Pond land.
We'll have to look into what the language was.
Okay.
Please, let's stay in touch with the police, let me know what's going on. I mean, if I have to.
Yeah. Chuck will look into that.
We'll try to get a hold of them.
Now, I have two ladies over in Highland Creek that didn't know each other, but they do now. They both have my phone number. I've been in communication with them. Whenever there's dirt bike here, they contact me, and they call the police also. And they called, a week ago or something, they had a film of them riding in, and I told them, I'll be there, and they called back quickly and said, no, they went on the town land, turned around and left. But I told them if we can catch them on the town land, we will press charges. I don't want them on the trails, I don't want them there. So,
Thing is, I have videos that I've given the state police of them on McChesney Avenue. I have a video right here. They're riding right in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And why did the state police keep saying to me, we can't do anything, we can't touch them? And then tell me a story about how over in Albany, how the kids on dirt bikes are driving circles around police cars, and the police can't do a thing. I'm moving forward.
I understand.
For Texas. Thanks for your time, guys.
All right. Anybody else at this point? If not,
I'll make a motion.
take a motion to adjourn. Gordy did. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's right up to,